Okay, so let's get over here. Go to YouTube. Why am I seeing... I don't want to hear any of your news. Do I have to turn you off? I don't want your stuff. I don't want your politics. Just go away. Go bug somebody else. Who cares? Because I don't. Okay. Where are we at? Copy. We want the link. Okay. Control Shift Overlay. Hello, overlay. All right, now, where's my announcements? I don't even know where I am. Okay, here's my announcements. Do I have an announcement? I can't read my own thing because of the stupid block in the way. Hashtag live? Is this hashtag? I guess so. Okay, I'm in the right area. Okay, I can't type. My fingers are just fumbling everywhere. Just one of those days. Am I there? Okay, I'm there. Excelente. I need a cup of coffee. I need a gallon of coffee. I need a couple of gallons of coffee. Okay. Alrighty, so everybody's announced. Hello, Black Bell. What is going on? Oh, wow, that might be a little loud. Is that a little loud for you? It looks like it's in the yellow on my end. Let me know if that's a little loud on the microphone. I'll move it away a little pinch. Hello, Black Belt. How you doing? Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's turn this off and get into the stream. Where am I at? I got lost. Okay, here we are. We need to turn it back to full screen. I cannot see, or off full screen. I cannot see. There we go. I can see you guys now. You're all good. Okay, thank you. If it's getting a little loud, let me know. It's nice to see you, man. I'm not doing too hot, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. I'm still moving. All right, everybody, welcome to the stream. First off, I want to apologize. I might sound even more like I'm drunk than usual right now. I'm really tired. I'm in a lot of pain, so we're just kind of going to hang out here, but I'm just going to talk with as little effort as possible. The game is in a small window. Thank you for letting me know, Black Belt. Yeah, that's right. I need to move it out. And I just remembered it, too. Thank you. Fixed. All right, now we're in a bigger window. Let me double check everything's running. I think so. So, you guys, welcome to my world here that I have started called where's my button at? VM Artifices. And what VM Artifices means is the way of the master craftsman, or the way of the craftsman. And why are we in this world? Well, I wanted to build today. I didn't want to play some other game. I know I need to finish that one game that we did, the horror game. And I know I need to do some other stuff and have some of the new games that I could put on, but I don't want to do any of that. I wanted to build, and I wanted to work on the cottage today. But unfortunately, if I can't do the cottage, working on that and create a video for it while I'm trying to do a live stream. So I thought, okay, well, then let's just come into here. I want to build, but I need to improve my skills anyway. I've got some problems right now with my cottage. For those of you that have been following along with the long play, my cottage currently has a very basic front porch and exterior in a lot of ways, and I want to fix that and make that a little better. So I thought, you know what, best of both worlds. Is this an igloo way out here in the middle of nowhere? Why is there an igloo way out here in the middle of nowhere? This is cool. But this is probably one of those igloos that has the prisoned villager down below. I bet you it does. I don't know. It says see a bunch of carpet here. I don't see any sign of it. Anyway, I thought the best way to approach this, we'll go ahead and jump into observer mode and find out. Are you curious? I am too. I thought the best way to deal with this would be to do some building on a different world. I could give you guys a preview for VM Artifices, which is a world where I'm going to be trying to expand my skills as a builder. No, there is nothing under this particular. This is cool. They've left this wonderful igloo far away from the village out here in the middle of nowhere. I love it. Anyway, I thought, okay, I'll just do it here. We'll find a location, we'll build, and I'll show you guys my thought process. And that way, when you're watching the long play and you're wondering why I'm standing here like this, and I'm just kind of staring at things, you'll know what's going on. What am I thinking? What's in my head when I'm trying to build something? What am I thinking about? And I thought, okay, well, I can share that. I can teach you guys how I think as a builder and give you guys that information. So if you're curious, you would know. So that's what we're going to do. But first things first, we got to find a building location. Let me see. Hey, Dream, guess what? I'm on my hardcore world. If you hold F3, I know. You told me that before. Thank you, though. You are on day 1080. Is that right? I'm just guessing. Anyway, so once we find ourselves a location, and that I guess is the first step you guys should know about me and my building. I get inspired by a location. That's why I try to build within the landscape. I try to build into the land or a location. I don't want to alter the landscape too much. I'm kind of inspired by a location. I don't know exactly what style I'm going to build or anything at any given point, but the location is the key first ingredient to being inspired to building something for me. And so far, I love this beautiful sky and this night and everything out here, but boy, is it really laggy on my screen. I don't know about you guys. And I don't have any locations here that inspire me. The Christmas cottage was pretty easily inspired. I had a little hill like this, and I could look out. But this is just, there's nothing here to look at. It's just kind of bland and boring and white. I like the cold. I like the seasonal. I'm in a large biomes world, by the way. But it's just not inspiring me at the moment. But we'll keep wandering around for a little bit, and you guys can let me know if you have any questions about any of my building decisions or thoughts, or if anything isn't very clear. You can go ahead and post them there in the chat, and I'll answer them while I'm looking around. Hopefully I can find a spot that'll inspire me before too much longer. There's some hills over here. That's pretty good. Let's look at these. No, day 1028. Okay. I was off. It's off by 50 or so. I'm glad you made it to day 1000. Congratulations, Black Belt. That's awesome. So this is a pretty good location here. But again, there's not much to look at. And if you look at this cliff here, it's not very substantial. And I don't really think I can do much with that. Plus, you have to build very large to build a very detailed structure. So you got to have a lot of area in which to build on. Now this is cool, but how would I support the house way up here in the air? I'd be able to put one corner of it, or one part of it on this top of this hill. It'd be a great long view all the way around, but unfortunately, there would be no way to support the other parts. I'd have to make some kind of thing with that. We'll wander around a little more. We can appreciate the wonderful shader pack giving us this night sky that we have. We were using the Complementary Shader pack for those curious. This is loading something over here. This is looking promising. I like hills. I like water. I love how the water kind of reflects the lighting here. I also like to be fairly close to a village in case I ever decide to play it in survival. But now this island would be a great inspiration for if I wanted to do a castle, because I've got a huge space here. It's cut off from everything else. This would be a wonderful little place for like a castle, but not so good for like just a building where you might have just a house kind of looking over the area. I found an awesome place in my world to build a Japanese palace. Oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. Japanese palace is going to look cool. This little abutment of land here, again, nice looking, but not going to work with me because there's just not enough material there to work with. Now just pardon me while we wander around a bit, and that'll give time for anybody else that wants to jump into the stream to jump on in. Again, another wonderful little island that could be good for a castle. This is the kind of place that I would look for if I was going to build a castle. It's perfect because you have a moat basically built in around it already. So that would be excellent. I'm having loading issues right now. I don't know what's going on. I think my internet's probably not good again. We had some terrible wind the other day. We've had flooding. So I would not be surprised if things have decided to stop working properly somewhere down the road. Yeah, go ahead and post the screenshot under hashtag now building at my Discord if you would like, Black Belt, or you can send it to me through the messaging system if you don't want to share it publicly. That's fine too. Man, we've got to find somewhere in this huge giant biome that's inspiring for a build, and I think I might have just found something. Got a couple of somethings. Let's look closely at this. So we have this kind of a dip and a doodad here. I don't think I can do much with that by itself. But then over here, we've got this hilltop. Now, that's a pretty expensive hilltop. I could probably do something with this, theoretically, but there's still not much of a view around me. If I could get to the edge of the biome, and I have no idea how large this large biome actually is, but if I could find my way to the edge, I might be able to place a house somewhere that could overlook both areas. I don't know how I feel about trying to do a place to live. It seems kind of weird to put like a house where there's like icebergs and stuff. I'm not sure I'm game for that. Is this the same village from before? Did we wander around a giant circle, or is it a different village? Could not tell you. I don't know. I love how the village looks out here, though. That's really cool looking. I wish this would load faster. I don't like having to stand here and wait around an hour and a half for this to load. That's really kind of frustrating me. I have to admit, I am a little bit frustrated. Hey, we got a frozen shipwreck. I think this is a different village, folks. Here we've got a frozen shipwreck. Of course, we've got the icebergs, which I don't know that I can do much with. Of course, if we headed out on the ocean, we could probably get to a different biome, but I don't really want to wander too far from this biome. I kind of like it. Let's see what's in here. We're not going to grab anything. We're just going to look. Ooh, we could get some bottle of enchanting and a bunch of silver and some lapis lazuli. Letting the whole silly thing load. And we could get some fire protection 3. We're going to take the boots. We're going to put those boots on my feet. Because if I go into survival and I'm somewhere out here in this icy biome and the snow grabs me, it could suck me under, and that would be the end of that. So I like this village here. I like this little island. I think that's this is some cool stuff here to look at. I don't like the backdrop of the icebergs. I do like that we've kind of entered into an area here that's not just complete snow. And I do like that there's this whole island here that a person could... I generally like hilltops when I'm building. I don't know if I'm going to go for a hilltop in this one or not. Let's go this way a little bit. We might as well look around. Yeah, I'm curious to see your screenshot of your location, Black Build, and I'm curious to see your Japanese-inspired build. It sounds really cool. A 23-layer tall bed. You did that in hardcore survival. That's pretty cool, man. That's a feat and a half right there. 23 layers tall in survival hardcore. That's not going to be an easy thing to beat for sure. I'm sorry about the grinding, folks, if you're seeing that on your screen. I don't know what to do about it. I think this is another boat. This is an upside-down boat over here. I think. Yeah, it's an upside-down boat. You and me both, Black Belt. I have been wanting to go to Japan for a long time. I actually wouldn't mind going to one of the little villages where it's just the older folk are running around because all the kids have left. There's some villages out there in Japan that are kind of dying off because... And it's happening over in places like Norway and other places like that too. Not Norway, that's the wrong word. Finland? I'm not sure I even have that word right, but... It's happening all over the place. A lot of these little isolated areas are getting abandoned because the kids want to move into the city, but that means there's plenty of houses. It'd probably be really easy to find a place to rent. And then these older folk, they all have things they can teach, you know, and they'd like to teach and share the knowledge with somebody who wants to hear it. So I would love to live in Japan for maybe a year, maybe a couple of years in one of these little villages, learning something from somebody that was of interest to me. That's top of my list, actually, of things I want to be doing when I travel. Okay, folks, so we made it over here to the spruce forest. Now, while I don't like the iceberg kind of terrain out here, and it feels odd to have a house overlooking that, we've got all these wonderful shipwrecks. We've got a village over that way somewhere. And here we've got all of this hilltop, and we really need to start getting a build going for you guys. Probably getting impatient with me, so we need to find a build location, but you do need to understand that the first step for me as a Minecraft builder is always finding the location. That's always the first step. That hill is probably where we're going to end up having to go unless I find something better. Looks like we've got a frozen desert over here. I'm glad I've got the hat and boots on. That'll keep my ears warm out here. Another excellent location for a castle. The reason I want to go to Japan is to see the old karate dojos. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that myself. I would like to visit anything that might be left over from where Bruce Lee got his training and stuff. I don't know if he has any of his dojos or any of that's left over here in America in the Seattle area, but there might be some things, some traces of him still left over in Japan. I would love to get in there and have those. Okay, folks, we're getting better. But yes, I would love to see a little more about where Bruce Lee had his stuff going on. I would love to check that out. This is interesting. We've got this little patch of woods over here. Icebergs. Of course, we've got the forever loading. I'm hoping there's another village around here somewhere, but this is the environment, folks. We're going to wander this border a bit. This gives us some contrast, gives us something to look at. We've got water now. We can swim in and fish. So that would be nice. It looks like we have a village. Okay, so now we're talking. Now all we need is a location that speaks to me. I have the right environment. I'm half snow. I'm half these sort of trees here and a half not snow here. So I got myself a village. So if I was going to build, I would find a location very near to this area, and this is where I would build. Someplace that would inspire me right around here. I love being able to look out the water. I love the contrast of the frozen of the water and then the thawed part. We'll wander back down here. I want to stay close to that village. That's an odd edge there. Oh, I see. It's frozen going to unthawed. Are you interested in Bruce Lee as well, Black Belt? The guy was incredibly intelligent, and he knew a lot of things. A lot more than I think he's given credit for. All right, we've got a little frozen cove over here. We've got some more hills over here, but this would be a long hike. A long hike to the village. I don't really want to wander too far from the village, but I'm not finding any inspirational areas near the village. So this is a little bit tough. I want to build here somewhere. And now I've lost the village again. Well, that's awesome if we share that in common. I don't know if any of his teachers or any of his students or any of his stuff is still around anywhere. But yeah, that's definitely somebody I'm curious about. Okay, well, folks, we may not have a very inspiring area for a build this time around because I want to get building so you guys aren't bored to tears by me just flying around the area here. Trying to find a good compromise because we just need to get into how I think when I'm building. We need to start in on that process. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take an F2 here. Give me a minute. I'm going to move a little bit further along because there's just no variety in the terrain here. Maybe that's unique to a large biome environment. I'm going to move over here a little further, and I'm just going to kind of look around. There might be another village nearby. And I want to look around just for a minute or two before I settle. Because I really do need to have a space that speaks to me. When I'm designing, when I'm creating, I want to have a view that I can orient towards. That's really important to me. I love the trees out here, though. I don't know that I picked the best world to do this. I probably should have had some of this stuff prepared ahead of time, but I wanted to clue you guys into my building processes. And take you from the very beginning through the outlining and sketching. You know what? I found something over here. I can't see a thing. I got the sun in my eyeballs, which looks amazing, by the way, but keeping me from looking anywhere. Thank you, Ella Parks, for the like. I appreciate it. Please feel free to subscribe if you like the content and want to see more of it. Okay. So, folks, I don't have a village. There's a village 1.5 miles away from here. But I've got a nice contrast environment right here. Let's use our zoom button to good use. I see some big trees over there. I see some hills over there. We can go look at them in a minute. I've got all of this environment here. I don't see anything at all that looks like any sort of a village or a villager. But I think this will work. We've got dual environments. We've got water. I love to look out at water. We've got this wonderful bunch of hills. So now what we would do is we just want to find a little pocket where we can place our little house. And we would love to place our house where we have a little taste of all these different environments. We would love to place our house in a unique kind of location. And we also want to be within reasonable walking distance of a village. So I'm going to cheat here a little bit because I don't want to waste time. Gonna up it to daytime again because I finally have some locations. So now this is a great place to put a house, except for one problem. How do you get up and down? But I love those challenges of how to make this environment work for me, how to work with the environment. You know, not destroy it or anything, but work with the environment and make it so that I can get up and down, make it so I can travel to a village. All of that stuff, I'm always thinking about that stuff when I'm wanting to build. This would be a cool location right here. Kind of stuck under the roof of this this little overhang or whatever it is. I did that once in Creativeverse, but it was more like an overhang like this one here. I don't see those very often here in Minecraft. I'm a little freaked out by the floating pieces of terrain here and there. That kind of bugs me a little bit, but here we have this natural flat-topped area. We've got an area where we could easily put a stairwell. We can overlook all of this snowy biome here. We've got these wonderful and strange hills that we could look at, so we've got plenty of things to look at. We've got a flat hill already ready for us. I'm thinking I'm not going to beat this, so I'm going to F2 it. And next step we have to do is to create our palette. But I got one last little problem. I need to find out, is there a village anywhere around here? And how far away is it? So let's swoop around a little bit initially and just see if we can find a village. Because it would make sense to be near or overlooking a village in case I ever wanted to come in here in survival. I also want to make sure that that is the best location for me. But I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to beat it. It's a little bit impractically high, but I like it. Now this here would be the best for like the view. We're much lower down, but we already got all this flat area here, and we have this amazing view here as well. That would be a great spot also. Got some more hills over here. We're just going to zip along a little bit and make sure we've picked the best place. I'd hate to pick a place and then be wandering around, flying around or whatever, and then find that there's a better spot. I don't think I'm going to find a better spot, but I would hate that to happen. So the only thing we're missing is a village, and I'm pretty sure there's one around here. If I had to, I'll use the locate command if I need to. But I'm not too worried about it because we're not going to be doing anything with a village right now. Yeah, we've got definite loading problems. When this has happened before, what I've had to do is I've had to exit the game and come back. I don't know if Essential Mod is causing this. I don't know if it's some update that's been done in the game, but this hasn't happened before. It's probably the shaders. Let's find out. Let's go to options, video settings, but I can't function when it's doing stuff like that. Let's go to BSL for now, temporarily. And see if changing the shader pack fixes the okay, so it's the shaders. So I have to figure out what setting in the shaders is causing all of this issue. Because I can't have that grinding away when I'm trying to do a stream or trying to... that's one of the things that I can't handle when I'm trying to build or create something. I can't have my equipment not working. I don't know if it's the same for like if you're a painter or whatever. Yes, this is a really cool spot. I agree, BlissWorld. But I don't know if that's the same for other people in the creative disciplines, but for me, my tools have to work right out of the box. I can't have any fights with them. If I have to fight with my tools, I get frustrated, and that just turns me right off a building. And I just can't do that. So that's one of the struggles that I have to deal with as an artist. When the game doesn't want to load, and my computer is old and doesn't want to work very well, you know, I don't want to sit here and complain and be a downer about stuff, but that just kind of throws me off, you know. Anyway, we have a spot, and I have not seen any villages. I know there's one around here. There has to be, because haven't seen one in a while. I'm waiting for this to load. All right, we're trying to find our little hilltop that we had where we were going to build at, and I want to look and see if there's a village anywhere nearby, and I'm also looking to see if there's any better spots. I guess this is one of the... They have a name for this biome, but I can't remember the name for it. Something about the hills, corrupted hills, or something along that lines. I think that's what this is. Right here on the edge of this frozen area. Alright, I am not seeing anything that looks remotely like a village around here. Was this our spot over here that we were going to build on? This little flat hilltop, is that it? I do have the coordinates on my... You know, and I don't have to do the F3, F2 because I just remembered I have the coordinates right up there in the corner. All right, well, rather than fight with this, let's do this. Oh, okay. I need a structure. Oh, come on. Don't give me that. Structure. And I want a village. They've changed how this stuff works, and I don't have all the names anymore. Oh, okay, I can do village taiga, village snowy. I guess we're near the taiga, so let's do taiga. I don't think it's working, folks. I told it what to find. Oh, there it is. 272383088. So we are at, I can't read it up here. 18, wow. Minus 1859. Okay, well, how far away do I have to go from this way? Let's set the time today again. We need to get building. Want to find this village and get going from that. Hopefully we won't have to wander too far from these blasted hills because I really do like them. I did lose my location. I should have noted the corner at the coordinates and had them in the back of my mind. That would have made it easier on me. But 200 isn't very far this away. Does it consider a snowy village? You know what? I should look for village snowy before I do that and see if there's one closer. I cannot type today, folks. I'm having the heck of a time trying to do stuff. All right, we got a village. We want to go to village snowy. 2576. So it's way over the other direction. So, okay. Wow, wherever we ended up, we're like where there's no village anywhere around for a long time. I've got 1,000 blocks one way or 1,000 blocks the other way to go. I think it's taking me too far away from the blasted hills, so that won't work for me. I will go kind of over that general direction because it's only traveling like another few hundred blocks. I'm just going to do a normal flyover. My guess is they're overlooking all of these icebergs. Although it says it's a taiga, which should be spruce, I think. So it'd have to be right on the edge of all of this. This area here, I wouldn't want to build a house in. I wouldn't be able to be inspired. I don't know why it is, but for some reason it's too alien an environment for me. I just can't get my head around it. And so I wouldn't be able to do much in this area. We're almost at 200. And we know which way to go to find that blasted area again. That's not going to be too difficult. We are currently traveling east, so it's west behind us. Hello, Black Belt. Welcome back. It told me that there's a village over here somewhere in a taiga, and so I thought I would leave the blasted hills or whatever they're called, and I would come over here and I would investigate this village. It says the village is 272-3088. So, I believe this is west. Alright, we need 3088, which would be this away. Okay, so they'll be over here somewhere. Oh, okay, there's the village. And I bet you this is the village that we saw before when we, yeah. That was my guess. And then the other village said it was going to be 3,000. Let's TP to it and see what it looks like. 2576, 4784. TP minus 2576, same height, minus 4784. Just to see what we have over here. This is a snowy village. So behind us, we will have the blasted hills. Once this loads, I'll be able to better determine if there's... This looks like the same wasteland that we left. And I would not find anywhere to build around here. So I'll probably go back to where we was, where the blasted hills was. If I can find the name of the biome, it should not be far from here. Easy enough to teleport to. So we won't have the convenience of a village. We'll just use that area to start our building because we don't want to make you guys wait any longer before we sit down and start building. That was the point of this stream. But now you understand the first thing that I'm dealing with when I want to build something. I'm always looking for an environment that interests me, engages me. So I'm not going to just fly like this forever. That's cool. Villager outpost all snowed in. This would be a great place to probably have a raid farm. You have the village to work with. You have the pillager outpost. You've got a frozen ocean. I'd miss the dolphins. They probably aren't out there in that water. But this is an ugly location. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Nothing but the same trees for 100 miles in every direction. So this must be a frozen plains, maybe? I'm looking around. I'm trying to see if there's any hope at all of anything even remotely intriguing near this village that I could do anything with. But it's not looking good, folks. I have not been able to figure out how to get inspired to build like a little hobbit house in these little clefts. Is this a boat? Oh, that's a portal, a ruined portal. It's a very strange ruined portal. Another pillager outpost? Why would there be two pillager outposts right next to each other? Tells me there's another village out here somewhere. I believe pillager outposts are usually located on the outside of villages. If you click on the chords in the chat and then hit enter, it'll teleport you there. Ah. I never knew that. I never knew that. Okay. Let's go back to the Blasted Hills, find a location, and get going. I just got to try to remember what the name of that thing is called. Is it Extreme Hills? I bet you that's what it is. Let's see if he's right about the teleport. Yep, that's probably it. It looks right. Okay, I'm clicking. And no. Huh. Well, I clicked and that didn't do anything. So I don't know. Maybe there's some other aspect there. Maybe I have to do TP first. Let me see. And then the coordinates? No. It doesn't appear to work for me, Black Bull. It might be a mod you have, or maybe I don't understand something, which is likely. Okay. Probably a mod. Well, this is not the environment that we were at. This is a different Extreme Hills. And it's right here. So I guess it wasn't Extreme Hills. Maybe it was corrupted or ruined. Let me see. I must have the wrong name of the biome. So it's not Extreme Hills. There's a name for it, but my mind is not letting me remember what it is. Badlands, Forest, Hill, Nether, Taiga. Huh. Folks, I do not know the name of this environment that we were at. Could it be Jagged Peaks, you think? I got Jagged Peaks, I got Stony Peaks, Windswept Hills, Wooded Badlands, Gravel Hills, who knows? Take the thing out. Okay, hold on a minute. Nope. Okay, so where we were located was 3,800 and like a negative 1,500. So let's try and extrapolate where we were because we want to get on the building here. So minus, I want to say 1,500, same height, and then minus 3,800. It ought to be very close to where we was. Should not be very far away from that environment, because I remember when we traveled, we were going from like 3,800 over, so. Alrighty, so we've got some cool landscapes here to work with. We're going to wait for things to load. I think those are our hills over there. Let's go find a spot to build and get going on the building. We will not have a village like we would normally want to orient nearby, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I think this is the right set of hills. I do not know what the name of this environment is. Does it say on the F3 screen what environment we are in? Let me know if you guys see it in here. I'm looking. Da 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 da. I don't see where it's telling me what block I'm pointed at, so I'm missing something. This says that it's called the Minecraft Snowy Taiga. And then if I come into here, it still says Snowy Taiga. So for whatever reason, it's trying to tell me, oh, it's the windswept forest. Okay, folks, we are in the windswept forest environment. It said click to teleport. It said click to teleport, you say. Click to, oh! You have to click at the last number block, but you're correct. You can do it. It wasn't the first, oh, you have to click, wait a minute. Oh, okay, it wants you to click on the numbers. If you click on the numbers, it'll click, you're correct then. You can click on that and then press enter and you can teleport. You just have to click on the numbers. This is a very odd, very strange shaped pile of rock here. And I kind of love it. It isn't practical for a place to build. But boy, that's cool. So this is the wind-swept hills environment, in case anybody wanted to verify that. Looks like I've got quite a few spots where I could build. We found a nice flat spot that was mostly green. Here's another flat spot that is icy. So here's our view from this area. We're looking for an area where we can begin to build that would require me to do a minimum amount of terrain alteration, because that's kind of my aesthetic and style, is to leave the terrain pretty much the same. I mean, you have to dig, you have to, get rid of some blocks. There's no way around that, but now if I felt more like a fantastical build, I could put a building right here, folks. I really could, and I could complement the weak areas with stone. This presents a unique building challenge. And I say let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's check our views. But I think let's do this, folks. What do you guys think? I got a nice, vast, open area here to look at. I can see snow and water. And I can see just a tinge of the hills over there. It's just a really wonderful place to look out at. It's very impractical because there is no way to get yourself down to the ground, but that will require me to be creative in how I do a staircase, because normally I do a staircase. I haven't really learned properly how to wrap it around in the environment where I'm located. This will require me to be extremely creative with where I put the staircase and how I do it. I could put the staircase inside the hill. That would be one option, of course. And we might even have to go partway inside the hill and maybe come out here and then come down to the ground here and then just have a little bit of part cleared out. Another possibility would be to run a stairwell back this way, and then run it right through here and right by this lava. I could run it right alongside this cliff, which I'm kind of excited. I like that idea. Normally I want my stairwell to kind of exit me somewhere close to a village or some point of interest. If I have a stairwell, oh, look at this. We even got a little overhang. If I have a stairwell running me through here, then I don't have a point of interest for it. There's nowhere that I could go from this location. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense. I would probably have a bridge here by this so-called lava river. Get rid of some of these trees. Sorry about my talking being a little bit stumbly right now. I'm kind of tired, as I said earlier in the stream. But yeah, where am I going to take myself from that stairwell exit point? That's the problem that I'm facing right now. It's a great idea. I'm excited about it. This actually does interest me, so I am going to do it. But I have to figure out a location of where I would go from that stairwell. Because there'd be a path. Like I might want to go towards this water, but look, the water's 10 million blocks in the other direction. So let's wander it a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to take this stairwell. Where is this path off of my house going to actually go? Because this, when you look at all this terrain and you're thinking about having to build a stairwell through here or a path through here, you got to think ahead a little bit. You've got a huge pile of terrain. Like if this was my destination right here, which would be a logical choice, I would want to have access. If I was living here in real life, I'd want access to this water. But look at what we have to go through now. This is what we have to construct a stairwell through. It's a mess. And we don't want to alter the terrain too much. But that's the only thing that makes logical sense, would be to put it that direction. So that's what we're going to do. Shying away from hard work isn't going to get us anywhere. I'm going to leave these floating columns of dirt, but I am going to remove this column right here. And the reason why I'm removing this is it's right in my view. And like I say, I don't want to alter the terrain too much, but there's really nothing that this terrain serves. I'm not really destroying anything of value. So now we need a spot where we can put a pallet. We need to figure out what kind of blocks we want to use. We want to figure out what the palette for those blocks is going to be. We need a spot where we can easily access and come over here and build. Let's use this right here. So we'll start with some deep slate. I did take a screenshot of different chords of the villages and stuff, so we do have all of that. So we're covered there. We've got our building location. We're ready to go. Normally, folks, what I like to do is I like to trace... What is that? I like to trace... I can't talk. I like to use some kind of a temporary block to trace out a pattern. That's what I normally like to do. I have not found a use for this reinforced deeply. This is a new 119 block, and I have no idea how or where to use it. But let's put all this out here. Somewhere in here we'll establish a gradient. Probably going to be the dark deep slate first, followed by maybe, no, that's a little lighter than the bricks, I think. Followed by the normal deep slate color. Not much of a gradient there. I have to work on that a little more, but here's some ideas of blocks that I might use. But let's just jump right on in. I like to use cobblestone. May not be the best choice, but let's trace out an idea of a structure here. We're going to set the time to, no, we're not. We're going to build at night, but I'm going to be smart this time, and I'm not going to keep you guys in the dark. I don't know why in the long play I forgot to do this. But we're going to do it now. We're holding a lantern so you guys can see. The problem with holding the lantern is that I get confused sometimes when I want to do certain picking blocks or moving blocks around. Get out of my spot, you. I want you off the hill. What are you doing? Fighting me. You're getting knocked off the hill whether you like it or not. There you go. Get in my face. You just go somewhere else and bother somebody else. Okay, I probably hit a few blocks here on the way when I did that. Let's put a light somewhere around here so we don't have to worry so much about these guys showing up. And then put it back on me. I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of baddies floating around my area over here. Don't let me forget to turn these lights, take them out of here, because they don't make no sense logically. But that'll give us some illumination, and now we can begin a layout. So the first thing we would do once we have our location, we would establish a palette. Palette will give us our darker to light color. This is an example, but not really a true palette right at the moment. Next thing we would do is sketch out kind of an idea. And this is kind of flexible. We want to play with this. And we want to figure out what we like, what we don't like. We want to figure out a shape. We want to come up with something here. Now, there's a wonderful opportunity in this area here for a small basement, but if you have it too small, you're not going to be able to have a lot of detail. So you got to have it bigger if you want more detail. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can technically go down one more. I don't want to mess up where this tree is too much. But all we're doing here, this is, if I had a pencil and I was sketching on a piece of paper, that's what this equivalent is. I'm trying to come to terms with a general idea for a shape for this environment where I want to have our structure built. I want enough space. This is a new thing that I'm doing now with the Christmas cottage. Learning to make it big enough to where you have enough space for detail. Now, Scar, I was watching one of his older videos today where he's building a house. He's doing kind of a tutorial for it. He doesn't do a dual block thing like I'm doing for the cottage directly. He does it indirectly. He would do something like this, and then he would begin to build stuff inside of it like so. And we're going to try that methodology. Instead of do blocks, we're just going to have this be the largest exterior spot, and then whatever else we build will be built inside of this. Okay, so now the next thing we need, and notice how we don't want to destroy this tree here. We want to keep that tree. So the next thing we need is to figure out where we might go from here. One possibility that we have, now is that down too low? That's good on the height. We might stick part of our structure out this way, but now we want to count some blocks. Actually, no, let's do it this time without counting blocks. Let's just poke it out and see how it feels. And try to keep in mind that we're doing the largest exterior shape first. Does it feel too big for the area? Can I make this work? Because it's kind of floating out over the void here. Where can I put a support? Now, if we have a basement here, it would seem that we would possibly have a basement over here as well. So we might take and put some blocks here. That should, if I've done my math correctly, and there's no guarantee I have, correspond to that. Now, what you might notice is we've got this little abutment of land here. So we could theoretically have a support coming right here. And it can stick out a little bit past the support, provided that we make the incorporations for it, but this could work. We could actually use this. So this could be a possible shape right here. I think our size is about right. We might make this another story or two up. I do want to also have part of this be under the ground. I mean, under this overhang over here is what I meant to say. I saw a comment, so I'll look here in a minute. If you want to turn off mob spawning, do game rule mob spawning false. Got to go record, maybe back. Well, thank you for joining me, Black Belt. Enjoy your recording time. And it was nice hanging with you for a little bit, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so I want to utilize this overhang. I'm not sure if I want to build snug up against the bottom of this overhang or if I want to have a space between my head and the overhang. That I'm not sure about. There's even enough space here to put a small roof of some sort. I wouldn't be able to put a very detailed roof because you wouldn't be able to get much height. To give you an example of that, if I were to do just a basic kind of a roof shape, say, like so. I mean, it can fit. It looks okay. It's kind of ridiculous because you've got this overhang above your head. It would make more sense, it seems to me, to perhaps have like a garden space, like a living roof, or to even go up and go flush with the roof. Let's play around a little bit with our sketch here and see if we want to just build straight up into the roof. So maybe from, say, this corner. And then we want to look and see what the scale is compared to where the player is. I think this would be too big, but we could make it so that there is no overhanging basement, and we just move the basement up and rest it right on top of this base here. That's something we could do. But let's take a look at this, get a sense of the scale, and see if we're at all close to what we might want. So that's not too horribly out of scale for the player. In fact, were I to move a basement in here and move it up, so say 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say I did 5, for example. I could do 4, I could do 5. Let's say I was to do 5. Were I to do that, you see that the space has shrunk by quite a bit. We would be left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 8 to the roof. That should still be enough. So I'm thinking, and I'm leaning towards no basement hanging down underneath. But of course, now we might have to kill the tree. I don't want to kill the tree. I'd like to build around the tree if I can. but it may not be possible to incorporate the tree with my build. We'll do this for right now while I think about that. I know it looks kind of silly. We're going to delete this. Okay, so our next order of business is, let's say this is our general house shape. Let's get that done, but we need to figure out how it's going to stand here. Now, Minecraft doesn't care about gravity, but as human beings that live in spaces, we care about gravity. We want to know it's got to feel like it could actually stay in place. And right now, this does not feel like something that could stay in place. It doesn't feel like a real structure would feel. But let's first sketch out the idea of this, and then let's sketch out the idea of a support. We don't want to have a huge column going all the way to the ground. I'm tired of doing huge columns that go all the way to the ground. I think that looks ugly, and I don't think it's, I mean, it's realistic, but that's the kind of realism that I can't get behind. I just don't like it. Now, let's keep in mind that we did want to create a stairwell out the back here. And not out the back, down the side. It's going to go down this side. So somewhere over here, we're going to have a huge front porch. I'm going to say maybe 5 blocks for right now, but it might be 3 blocks. I can't even tell from down here and up there. We might pull this in a little bit. Let me see how wide we are. We're going to pull it in by 1 block. And the reason why we're going to do that is so that we don't overextend where we want to put the stairwell and the porch. And it also tucks it more nicely into this area. It also gives us the number 15 for our width here. We want to have a number that's odd because we want to make sure that if we want to center anything, we can center it. We can't center on an even. We can only center on the odd. So, moving right along. And now I'm going to wander around a bit more. You always want to gain a little distance from your structure and kind of get an idea of its feel. And you can only do that by gaining a little distance, a little perspective, looking at it from different angles, looking at it from the distance. That'll give you an idea if you're on the right track. I want to go ahead and do just 3 on the inside for what will be the porch. That's a total of 5. So this area here is going to be a front porch. It's going to provide steps that are going to eventually go down there. The steps have to somehow come around and hug this cliff and be built into the cliff. And I won't try to iron that problem out right now. But this whole thing right here is a stairwell, or will be a stairwell possibly. Nothing here is set in stone. This has to flex. It has to move around a bit as needs change, or as, you know, as required. You don't want to be stuck. This is a sketch. It's not the final drawing, it's a sketch. Alright, so now I'm looking around at it. That's not too terrible a shape for a house. I'm wondering if I want to create the basement starting from right here, or do I want to stick with it over here? because over here it's not really connected anymore to the house. If this is the sidewall of the house and we don't have any additional house material in that direction, then this doesn't fit. So let's think. We've got a lip right here that we can use for support. It's roughly 5 or 6 or 7 blocks out. Let's do... That's 5 blocks out. And it does tie in with the stairwell. You want to repeat some of the same shapes in architecture. And that provides a sense of consistency, I guess. I'm not 100% sure how all this works, but... So let's sketch this out over here, sketch this out over here. So that's what that would look like if we extended the house that way. I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. And maybe even a lot bigger, I don't know. I'm going to go with 9. And I want to see how that looks and feels, and if that will fit me or not. All right, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 on the inside, 9 on the outside. That's fine. We need the uneven number on the outside dimension. And we got to keep in mind that this is the largest exterior space. We're going to be adding detail and bringing the interior from here. So, okay, so now we have this here. We can create some kind of a structure to support this part of the building. We probably won't use the rest of this, so we can get rid of this. And then I want to fly around a bit, and I want to see how that feels and looks. I think it might be sticking out of the cliff too far, but I'm not 100% sure. Imagine trying to do this in hardcore survival, folks. Would not be an adventure, I'll tell you what. Okay. So that's my idea for the structure right now. Theoretically, we could preserve the stairwell and have it coming right along the entire side of the building. Make part of this a porch, part of this a deck, and have this huge... Because that's something else I need to improve, is my porches are terrible. And I need to have better porch designs. So this could theoretically be like part of the stairwell that's going to take you down. This could be a deck. Right here on top. And we could have an additional deck running right here if we wanted to. We're not having to limit ourselves to one simple deck. We could have multiple decks. Could even make this be a garden right here, right on the edge of the cliff. And we just have to figure out a way to do the supports. Let's trace out a general idea of what a support might look like here and get an idea of what we might want to do. So let's say I wanted to do something like that. And let's say I wanted it to be maybe a little thicker than that. So let's say I did a 3 thickness. All right, that isn't quite the effect we want. Let's try 3 followed by a 2. We'll use a Fibonacci sequence here. But unfortunately, that doesn't get us close enough to the cliff where we need to be. Now, what we can do, though, is right here, if we're going to do up there a 3, we can do a 3 here, right? So let's toggle this in here. Let's say that's what we were doing. And then we might replace, I'm not going to do anything right now, but we might replace these dirt blocks here. We might go down a certain distance. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 5. We'll just randomly say 5. We could have something like that be part of our support system, and then we could have additional items maybe along here to kind of give us the idea of something that's supported. Now, something that might look even better than that, if we're smart, and we are, is we might bring it in like this. Because by bringing it in and having the part of the house kind of float above on the outside, that's going to give us an even cooler effect. So that would be that way. Now that I think looks kind of dumb. So if I wanted to move it up 1 block, I could do that. And this is the process, folks. It's breaking blocks, sketching it out. Now you can save yourself a lot of trouble if you do the sketching before you sit down and begin construction, but if you're going to do it on the fly, this is kind of the process you have to go through. I don't like that. I'm not thrilled with that. I'm going to try this. See if I'm more thrilled with that. Okay, that I like better. That feels more organic, more like it's hooked into the cliff. And then we would probably make this probably about 3 wide. So this is 1. We'd probably go over about here, and we would do another one exactly the same. And we would make this our support system. More than likely what we would do. And as you get into your building, you might zone out, which makes it terrible for live streaming, because if you zone out, then you're not talking and people think you're not there, not doing anything anymore. So you gotta figure out a way to be able to talk to people even when you're trying to just zone out. But here you go, folks. That's about the right thickness. This, of course, would have a straight line going to it right here. It would be different blocks. It wouldn't be these blocks. But the idea of it This would be what would be holding up our area here. It's just holding it up, just an inset by one block. I think I like that. I would probably do a very similar design here or in the middle. I might even do more than one. More than likely it would go right here. But I would use World Edit and just copy paste to make my life easier. But for right now, we're not going to add any extra. We're going to leave that there as my general idea. We'll probably have one there. We'll probably have a deck here. We'll probably have a deck or a garden or something taking place on top of this. Really? Really? Boy, you're tough. You can survive that. All right, so I got to think about where else I might want to put things. Hello, Pumpkin. How you doing? Okay. So today, Pumpkin, we are on the VM Artificus world, which means the way of the builder, the way of the master builder, and just giving you guys kind of a preview of that world. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet for sure, but we're trying to show the processes that I go through when I'm building something. Trying to get you into my head so you can see what I think when I'm building things. I have not heard of Minecraft 4K. I would not be surprised to learn that they're working on that. Alright. So, folks, we only have one complaint here that I don't like. One minor change that we're going to do. I want this cliff to kind of feel more like this overhang, to feel more like it's being supported by the house. Somehow, like maybe we put it there. And I don't want to have this be where the deck will be. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to move some things around here, and we're going to see how that looks and feels. Oh, I'm on the BSL shaders. That's right. Let's get back to the good shaders. We got to have the beautiful shaders, man. Even though they cause me nothing but problems. My goodness. Gonna lower my view distance down to 12 chunks. Make things work a little bit better, maybe. Oh yeah, that's much better. I can get behind that. It's hard to enjoy those other shaders when they're... I mean, I love BSL, don't get me wrong, but they just don't give me as much to look at in the sky at night, you know? And I love to be looking at the night sky. That's one big thing with me. Okay, so we made one minor miscalculation, but we're going to fix it.
You got a book overdue.
Yeah, you turned it in, I thought.
Canvas.
Yeah, and that's when you turned in.
I turned in 3 of mine.
No, one was mine. One was a Robert Moss book that I put in the bag.
I gave you 2.
Yes, and I put... The 2 you gave me are there. There was 2 others you gave me along with the one, and that's one that was overdue. Do you have my card? So no holds, I take it.
Nope.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure you turned in the one that was overdue. Thank you. If you guys are going to want to do lights tonight, let me know so I can get ready. Give me a little heads up.
I'm taking a shower right now.
No, you don't want to go out then.
No, I will too.
That would be too late.
All right, so we're going in about 7. I want to count what the distance is here. Sorry about the interruption there on the stream, folks. Now that gives us 16. I think I only want 15 total length. Pretty sure I don't want to. Do I want to shorten it from this end? No, I don't. I might want to shorten it from the other end, but not from this end. So we're going to go up here, and I'll check your comments in just a second. I want to get my thoughts straightened out before I get distracted. I thought they were fighting amongst themselves for a second. I don't mind interruptions. Okay, well, I'm glad for that. So no, I have not heard of Minecraft 4K. You'll have to tell me a little more about it. I don't know anything about Minecraft 4K, but it makes sense that Microsoft would be working on that. I'm still waiting for them to get ray tracing into the Java edition. Not that my computer could handle ray tracing at the moment, but Java people should be able to enjoy that, because Bedrock is a different type of Minecraft, and I'm not a huge fan of it. Okay, so we've kind of wompty-woodled things here. And I'm going to move the basement, what's going to be the basement, up to here.
I don't think it'll be out that long. You might be less risk of cold. I don't know anything, Joe. Maybe it'll be all right. I don't know.
So, folks, we might be wrapping up here pretty soon. Okay. We will resume with this stream maybe next week. So I can get you guys kind of a viewpoint into my thinking processes. I have a bit of a problem now. I don't know where I want this deck, but I didn't want to kill this tree. And I know if we move one in, we're going to be having a 7 and I believe a 15. And we like those numbers. We like to have in the sections, we want them to be odd numbers because we want to have the ability to center things on them. So I want to go ahead and try this. This means we're not harming our tree here, friend any. He can just kind of stay here and chill. So, Pumpkin, what I was doing before you got on stream is I was just trying to show people my thought processes when I'm building something. I went over how my first inspiration is always going to be the environment or the place where I'm building. And there was a lot of flying around just trying to find a place to build. Talked about how I like to build relatively close to a village so that I have, if I ever wanted to play single player, I'd have access to a village. So I was talking about that. Black Belt was in here briefly through some of this. I'm not sure if I'll keep this part yet. I haven't decided. But I do know I want a deck, and I'm thinking that's where it's going to go. And then the other support will go right here in the middle, if that be the case. Then this would just kind of be hanging out on the end. Anyway, I was talking about that, talking about how to find the environment. We're looking around for an environment. Found these extreme hills here, and this was enough to inspire me as a location to build, but there's no village nearby. And then the next thing is to establish a palette. I set up this over here as a kind of an idea for a palette, but a palette is dark to light colors of blocks you might use. This is not very good, not very well set up. But I wanted to show you guys my thought processes before I even start building, because you've been seeing in the long play where I pause. I want you to know why I'm pausing and what's going through my head. You've seen that I already have stuff set up, and I wanted you to know what I went through to set those things up, what all that is. Okay, so MC4K actually is pretty much a joke to him. He's like, Ironic, it's low quality, barely a game. It's like how Pocket Edition used to be just a bare bones version, but even more simple. Basically, there's a competition make it super small in terms of storage version of MC, so Notch made one. It's got like 6 blocks and no sky. Inspirational, yes. I'd want every building location to be a jungle. Can't build without green grass. Well, I just couldn't handle, I was in a snowy, frozen area, and it was just not really inspiring me as an environment to live in. Why do I have this? Oh, because of this wall here. So we would probably want to have an additional support somewhere around here. Let's go and take a look at this now. See what we have here. I kind of want to stick it out more, but I also don't because, yeah, I just don't think. But maybe what I would do is I would stick a little balcony right here. Whoa, what happened? My game flickered on me. So maybe I'd stick a little balcony here to kind of mirror that upper part. This would be a deck right here. I probably won't have any of this underneath. Just the deck. Probably not 100% sure. This is my stairwell where I'm trying to create, I'll show you where the stair is going to run, provided I see this project through and I actually finish it. That's the main problem that I deal with, is that I don't seem to finish projects very easily. Very well at all. But we're going to have a stairwell. It's going to come down here and it's going to go all the way down through here. It's going to wrap around. I'm going to probably have to install some kind of a walkway over this way or through this lava here. And it's going to go to this little pond. This is where the walkway will probably have to be. But I figure if I was living here in real life, this would be where I'd want to head towards. A stairwell's got to go somewhere. That's kind of important. You got to kind of consider where all the different elements are going to be playing off each other, where they're going to be going, what's going to be happening. I'm going to leave that for now, but I might get rid of these block tower things that are floating around out here. This is called the Windy Taiga, I guess. You don't like my acacia builds? I thought you loved my acacia builds, Pumpkin. I thought acacia builds was your favorite thing in the world. I try to build into the terrain. I don't do much, so when you're saying I might need some terraforming, what I try to do when I'm building is I try to build with the land and into the terrain. That's my aesthetic and style. So I do as minimal terraforming as possible. Wait. So this right now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is only 6. Oh, come on, don't blink out on me. All right, this needs to come out one more. We want to keep the numbers odd. And that will look better overall. We'll leave the tree alone for now. Okay, so that's our general layout. That's what we're going to probably, but not necessarily do. The next question is, where should I actually have the balcony? And I'm going to put it here. Because having both balconies on the upper level doesn't add enough variety and visual interest. So we need to have, and that's the other aspect I was talking about, Pumpkin, was I was watching one of Scar's videos. He doesn't do a real double block system like I was trying to do for the Christmas cottage. What he does instead is he has enough thickness and material on the outside of his structure that he can then come inside the structure and build all the details he wants from the inside and the outside. It comes out the same as a dual block system, but he's not sitting there trying to do 2 blocks everywhere in thickness. We're going to try and follow a similar idea with what we're doing. We're going to do our best to build inside of this shape our house. And this will be kind of the exterior of our house, and this is where we're going to add our details. I think this will work. I'm wondering if I want... Oh, that's right. I have this over here, so we can just wrap this all around, is what we're going to do. But I think they're thinking about, we're going to go look at some Christmas lights. I don't believe there's going to be many up. My parents never listen to me. I tell them that they disappear, you know, after December. But, well, you know how parents are sometimes. Kids think they know everything, parents think they know everything, and nobody knows nothing. Let's go ahead, and I don't know if I want to copy it right here and put it in, or if I want to move it over, yes?
Guess we have to go look at lights.
All right, I already warned them that I'd be wrapping up, so let me wrap
I don't
up
even
and
know
then
where
we'll
to
go.
or anything like that. Don't even care. I don't even want to go.
Sorry. So, 1, 2, you heard my dad there. I don't even want to go. What you gonna do? A little bit anyway, I guess, right? All right, let's copy our pattern and see if this looks good here. I think it's a kind of a fool's errand. I don't believe there's going to be much still plugged in. The one guy that's not far from us, he has some funny ones like the snowman that's shivering. They weren't plugged in last night, so I'm guessing that's time has passed. But here's the hope, and we have a little bit of lights to look at. Oh, pardon me for yawning yet again. All right, let's check our distances and see what we've got here. We've got the start of our building. You guys have now kind of sat through the thinking processes that I go through when I'm constructing, building a house. So now you understand a little more about what's going on in the Christmas cabin. Some of the things that I'm doing there you may not have understood. Hopefully it's a little clearer now what's going on. I'm not sure if I want to keep it like this or move it over. I haven't decided on that. I'm probably going to keep it just like that. And I might move this in a little bit. Depends on the space. So let's count out the blocks and see where we are real quick. So we're currently at 14. This is 13. I'm thinking we need to go to 11. Possibly 13. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and move this all in one block, and we're going to look and see how that feels. Sometimes moving something just a single block changes the whole feel of a thing and makes it a lot better. I cannot click, apparently. Bear with me. Man, I'm yawning crazily. I cannot stop yawning. And I am not tired. I had lots of sleep. Well, it was a hard day yesterday, so I might be a little beat up. We want that odd number again because we want to be able to center things. We can't center them if everything is even because it doesn't work in Minecraft to center with even. You can only center with the odd. I am sorry, Pumpkin, to cut the stream short on you. I'll read your chat here in a minute. I was trying to focus on getting this wrapped so we can get out of here for my mom. She's the one mainly wants to do this, so trying to be considerate. Okay, now that spacing, you notice, looks right. It looks more centered. It looks better. So we're pretty happy with that. We need one more support we're going to have to come up with for this over here. This part of it, more than likely what I will do here is I'll have something coming out and curving down and providing a support on this corner. Maybe even going over into the porch, or the porch might be on the outside floating. I want it to look like if it was really built here, it could stay in place. I'm always looking for realism. I always tend toward minimalism, and I always try to build into the terrain. We are not going to be using this cobblestone as a main block. It is going to be just simply a placeholder. We're sketching out and getting an idea of our structure that we're going to build here. And right now, I am fairly happy with what I have come up with here. I think this will work really well right here. Be a wonderful place to have a house. I don't have a village nearby, but I will look for all the different kinds of villages and see if I can find one. Well, no, it's andesite. Andesite is the best. Okay, computers are people too. Why do you need space in your house? Crawl. That is true. Everyone wants to think they know what's up. Yeah. Anyway, let me check the time for you guys real quick. We got emeralds over there, folks. I can see them glowing. I love the glowing ores. I can't get enough of glowing ores. Hey, we're actually at 6 o'clock, so that's about ending time anyway. So let's do an exit here. So, folks, look at that wonderful sky up there. So this concludes, that looks ugly with my boots. Let's take those off. I don't like that. I'll keep them in case I need them. There you go. Now I've got my regular snow boots on. So that's kind of the thinking process, the initial steps to getting a house built for me. I'm inspired by a location. I want to build into the land where I can. I sketch out using some kind of temporary block like this cobble here. Some kind of a shape. I'm always traveling at a distance, circling it, looking at it from different angles because I want to see how it looks and how it fits in the space that I've decided to build in from different angles. But I got to start with a space that inspires me. I usually like to be not far from a village in case I ever play survival because you're going to want that village nearby. But in this case, we probably don't have a village nearby. We are in the windy taiga biome, I think is what they call it. And we've got a general idea for a space here. Underneath me will be a basement. And right here in this will be the main level. We'll have a balcony coming out from the basement. That might be where we're going to grow wheat. I don't know yet. Right here is going to be a stairwell going down under that overhang. And this will be the main floor of the house. This kind of a cube right here. And there's a balcony or a viewpoint right over there from the main floor of the house. And of course, this is just a general idea, a rough sketch of what we might do. This will change and grow and develop as we grow. This is the exterior parts of the house that we're looking at. We're going to want to build our interior about a block or two in so that we can have plenty of detail on the exterior. We're going to kind of follow Scar's example there. Hopefully this has answered your questions on how I start a build, how I get inspired, what I'm thinking when you watch the Christmas Cottage long play and I'm pausing and I'm sketching out with cobble what's going on there. This is the process. I'm trying to find a way that builds into the space and fits into the space. I have a very minimalist aesthetic, so I have to expand my wings a little bit here to learn how to do this extra detail type design. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to up my building game by getting more details built and just not building the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, it's cool. The one thing I do have going for me, building into the landscape, but I still need to have more detail and not just build the same building every time. Anyway, we're going to go into chat, and if you have any final questions, go ahead and post them. We're going to wrap up, and then I guess I'm going to go off to look at some Christmas lights. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next stream. Lighting looks good, shaders. I love the shaders too. No need to apologize. Buy them, fits into space. Mind process. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I wanted you guys to understand with the Christmas Cottage long play, the thinking going on behind it. I thought some people might want to know that, so. All right, we're going into chat window. If you got any last minute questions or comments, I will be watching and I will respond. And I know it's a short stream today, but I didn't really have much else to say or do, so. And I'm kind of tired, as you can tell. I don't know what's up. I'm going to get some coffee. If you have any questions about my building process that weren't very clearly explained or you wanted to know about that I forgot to mention, just let me know. Pumpkin's ahead of me. He says, no final questions. Okay, well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It looks like we had 23 views. We had one like from somebody that I thanked, and I appreciate that. I didn't expect really much traffic at all on this stream, so I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be working some more on the Christmas Cottage tonight, and part 2 should be coming out in the next 2 weeks. Sometime. I'll clip the end of the stream. Okay. All right. Well, I'll catch you guys later. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn it off here in the stream. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next week. I think we'll resume some kind of a normal schedule next week. It'll probably be the winter schedule for now, but that might change.